Do you ever walk into a room in your home and feel heavy? Not from physical weight, but from the piles, the papers, the quiet mess that just won't go away. That moment when you stand in your doorway, looking at everything that needs attention, and your shoulders just drop. Because where do you even begin? I see you there, taking a deep breath, maybe rubbing your lower back that's been bothering you lately. Maybe glancing at that stack of magazines from 3 months ago, or those clothes draped over the chair that somehow became a permanent closet. And I want you to know something right now. You're not lazy. You're not failing. You're just tired of fighting a battle that seems to reset itself every single day. You know what I've discovered after talking to hundreds of people who've transformed their homes without breaking their backs or their spirits. Decluttering doesn't require superhuman strength. It doesn't need weekend warriors or marathon cleaning sessions. It needs something much gentler, much kinder, and far more powerful. In this video, you'll walk with me through 7 peaceful steps to gently reclaim your space and your calm. Not through force, not through exhaustion, but through understanding how your home wants to breathe again. And I hope you'll stay with me until the very end, because step 7 is the one most people forget, but it's the very thing that makes your home feel like yours again, like a sanctuary instead of a burden. If this already feels like relief to you, like someone finally understands, hit that subscribe button now, because we're about to change how you think about your space forever. Step 1. Choose one corner, not the whole room. Here's where most people go wrong. And I mean everyone, young, old, doesn't matter. They walk into their living room, see the entire space, and think, today I'm going to tackle this whole room. 2 hours later, they're sitting on the floor, surrounded by more mess than when they started, wondering why they even tried. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 72, lives alone, and called me crying because she'd spent her entire Saturday trying to fix her bedroom. By evening, her bed was covered with clothes she pulled from 3 different closets. Her dresser was empty, but somehow the room looked worse, and she had to sleep on the couch because there was nowhere to lie down. Sound familiar? The secret that transformed Margaret's approach and will transform yours is this: your eyes can only focus on one corner at a time anyway. So why fight that natural instinct? Choose one corner. Just one. Maybe it's that spot by your favorite chair where things tend to gather. Maybe it's the corner of your kitchen counter where mail lands. Could be that table by the door where keys and sunglasses create their own little mountain. Here's your new rule: 1 square meter only. Seriously, get a measuring tape if you need to. That small space, about the size of where you're sitting right now, that's your entire world for the next 20 minutes. Nothing else exists. Don't look at the rest of the room. Don't even think about it. Watch what happens. As you clear that one corner, as you wipe it down, as you see that surface breathe again, something magical occurs. Your nervous system calms down. Your breathing gets deeper. You're not overwhelmed because you're not trying to eat the entire elephant in one bite. You're just holding one small space in your hands, loving it back to life. And here's the beautiful part. Even that little space breathes easier now. You'll walk past it tomorrow and feel a tiny spark of pride, a whisper of, I did that. That feeling? That's your motivation growing, not from pressure, but from success. Step 2, handle only what's in front of you. Now, I know what's happening in your mind right now. You're clearing that one corner, and suddenly you spot something that belongs in the other room. Your brain says, oh, I'll just take this to the bedroom real quick. Stop right there. This is a trap that derails everything. Your brain is trying to be helpful, but it's actually sabotaging your peace. Because what happens when you walk to that other room? You see the unmade bed. You notice the laundry basket that's overflowing. Suddenly you're not decluttering anymore. You're playing whack-a-mole with your entire house. And guess what? Your house wins every time. Here's what the people who actually succeed do differently. They place a basket next to them. Any basket, box, or bag will do, and they call it their later basket. Everything that belongs somewhere else goes in there. Everything. No exceptions. No, but it'll just take a second. Excuses. You handle only what's directly in front of you. That magazine, does it belong in this corner? If yes, decide, keep or let go. If no, later basket. That pen that rolled under some papers, belongs in the kitchen drawer. later basket. Don't think about it, just toss it in. This isn't just about staying organized. This is about protecting your mental energy. Every time you stop what you're doing to wander to another room, you're pulling your focus in 17 different directions. Your brain gets scattered, your energy gets depleted, and that calm, peaceful feeling you started with, gone. But when you stay focused, when you handle only what's right in front of you, something beautiful happens. You enter what psychologists call flow state. Time becomes irrelevant. The chatter in your mind quiets down. You're present, grounded, working with your hands and your heart in harmony. Focus creates momentum. And momentum, that's what carries you through to the end with energy to spare. Step 3. Sit while you declutter. Wait, what? Sit while decluttering. I can practically hear the voices in your head right now. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to power through. You're supposed to work until it's done. Says who? Why does decluttering have to feel like punishment? Why do we accept that organizing our home should leave us exhausted, achy, and dreading the next time we need to tackle a space? What if I told you that some of the most successful home transformations I've witnessed happen with people sitting comfortably, moving slowly, breathing deeply? Picture this. Your favorite comfortable chair pulled up to that corner you're working on. A small table beside you for your keep, donate, and later piles. Maybe a cup of tea steaming gently in the background. Soft music playing. Nothing energetic. Just something that makes your heart feel calm. Now you're not fighting your space. You're having a conversation with it. Your hands move slowly, deliberately. You pick up each item with intention, not haste. You ask yourself gentle questions. Do I love this? Do I use this? Does this make my life easier or harder? And because you're sitting, because you're comfortable, you can actually hear the answers. Your back isn't screaming. Your knees aren't protesting. You're not watching the clock, wondering how much longer you can push through. Instead, you're settled into a rhythm that feels sustainable, peaceful, almost meditative. This is how decluttering becomes self-care instead of self-punishment. This is how you finish a session feeling renewed instead of depleted. And this is how you create a practice you'll actually want to return to tomorrow and the day after that. If you're already feeling that shift, this actually sounds doable feeling, I need you to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, because we're just getting started, and the next steps are going to change everything. Step 4, use the 3 things rule. Now here's where people get it completely backwards, and I see this mistake everywhere. They think decluttering means emptying entire shelves, clearing whole surfaces, making dramatic before and after transformations that look like magazine spreads. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you saw a magazine transformation that actually stayed that way for more than a week? The truth is, dramatic changes create dramatic backlash. Your mind rebels against extreme changes because they don't feel sustainable. They feel foreign, uncomfortable, like you're living in someone else's space instead of your own. But what if I told you there's a way to create profound change that feels so natural, so gentle, that your space transforms almost without you noticing? What if the secret isn't about doing more, but about doing less, much less? Here's the rule that's changed everything for thousands of people. The 3 things rule. Pick any space, a shelf, a countertop, a dresser top, even that chair where clothes live, and remove exactly 3 things. Not 4. Not, while I'm at it, might as well clear the whole thing. Just 3. Why 3? Because 3 is small enough that your brain doesn't panic, but big enough that you can actually see a difference. 3 things create breathing room without creating emptiness. 3 things whisper change instead of shouting it. Let me tell you about Robert. He's 68, retired, and his kitchen counter had become what he called mission control. Bills, medications, keys, reading glasses, coffee filters, a flashlight, some loose change, and about 15 other items that somehow made that counter their permanent home. The sight of it stressed him out every morning, but the thought of clearing it completely felt overwhelming. We started with 3 things. Just 3. The first day, he put away the flashlight, tossed some old receipts, and moved his reading glasses to their proper spot. Took maybe 90 seconds. The counter still looked cluttered, but something had shifted. There was a tiny bit more space, a small sense of progress. The next day, 3 more things. Then 3 more the day after that. By the end of the week, Robert called me, and I could hear the smile in his voice. "My counter isn't empty," he said, "but I can actually see it. I can use it. It feels like mine again." That's the magic of the 3 things rule. It works with your brain instead of against it. Each small success builds trust in your own ability to create change. Each day, you prove to yourself that you can handle this, that you're not helpless, that progress is possible. And here's what happens that nobody talks about. After a few days of 3 things, you start wanting to do more. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because success feels good. Because seeing your space breathe feels addictive in the most beautiful way. But stick to 3. Even when you want to do more. Even when you're feeling energetic and motivated. Because this isn't about creating perfect spaces overnight. This is about creating a sustainable rhythm that your future self will thank you for. This is about building a practice that lasts months and years, not just until next weekend. Do it daily, and it becomes a gentle flow, like brushing your teeth or making your morning coffee. It stops being a chore and starts being a small gift you give yourself each day. Step 5. Give each room a breathing zone. Now we're getting to something really special, something that goes way beyond just organizing stuff. We're talking about creating sacred space within your own home. Because here's what I've learned after helping hundreds of people transform their living spaces. Every room needs a place to breathe, and so do you. Look around the room you're in right now. I'll wait. Look at your favorite chair. Is there a pile of clothes on it? Look at your coffee table. Can you actually see the surface? Or is it covered with remote controls, magazines, and yesterday's mail? Look at your bed. Is it a flat surface for sleeping, or has it become storage for things that don't have homes? This is what happens when we don't create breathing zones. Every surface becomes utilitarian. Every space becomes about function instead of peace. And slowly, quietly, our homes stop feeling like sanctuaries and start feeling like storage units we happen to sleep in. A breathing zone is different. It's a space that serves no purpose except to exist beautifully. It's visual peace. It's where your eyes can rest without having to process or organize or figure out what needs to be done. Maybe it's one corner of your kitchen counter that stays completely clear. Always. No matter what. Maybe it's the top of your dresser with just one beautiful thing. A plant, a photo, a candle. Maybe it's your favorite chair with nothing on it, except a soft throw folded neatly over the arm. Here's the thing about breathing zones. They're not about perfection. They're about intention. When you look at that clear space, that peaceful corner, your nervous system gets the message. All is well. There's room here. There's calm here. I can rest here. I remember Sarah, a 71-year-old artist who felt like her creativity had dried up along with her energy. Her dining room table had become command central for everything. Mail, art supplies, groceries waiting to be put away, books she meant to read, projects she meant to finish. Every time she walked past that table, she felt a little knot of anxiety in her chest. We created one breathing zone, just the center of that table, cleared it completely and put nothing there except a simple vase with whatever flowers or greenery she could find, even if it was just a branch in the yard. That small circle of peace, that visual rest in the middle of all her activity, changed everything. "I sit down to eat now," she told me a month later. "For the first time in years, I actually sit at my dining table and enjoy my meals instead of eating standing up in the kitchen. And somehow, seeing that peaceful space every day, it makes me want to create more peace around it." That's the ripple effect of breathing zones. They whisper to the rest of your space. They invite more calm, more intention, more beauty. They remind you that your home isn't just about storage and function. It's about living, really living. You see it. You breathe it. You protect it. And in protecting that small space, you remember how to protect your own peace too. If you're starting to see your home differently, if you're feeling that gentle shift from overwhelm to possibility, please share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Because sometimes the kindest thing we can do is show someone they're not alone in wanting their home to feel peaceful again. Step 6. Let go of guilt items gently. You know them, those items that make your chest tight when you touch them. That dress you never wear but can't throw away because You spent good money on it. The exercise equipment gathering dust. Your mother's china you never use because it's too good. These guilt items steal your peace every day. Every time you see them, your mind whispers accusations. You're wasteful. You're ungrateful. But here's the truth. You're not throwing these things out. You're releasing them with gratitude. Thank that dress for making you feel beautiful once. Thank those books for representing your curiosity. Thank the gifts for the love they represented. Then release them to serve their purpose elsewhere. Dorothy donated her late husband's woodworking tools to a high school program. I wasn't keeping Tom alive by storing his tools, she realized. I was keeping him alive by letting them create again. You don't lose memories or love. You gain freedom, space, and peace. Step 7. End each day with a gratitude walk. Wait, stop right there. I can see the question in your eyes. Another thing to do? I thought this was about making life easier, not adding more tasks. This isn't about doing more. This is about feeling more. And feeling more what matters most. The peace you've been creating, the space you've been healing, the home you've been loving back to life. Every evening, after dinner, after the dishes, after you've settled in for the night, take a gratitude walk through your home. Not to clean, not to organize, not to fix anything or move anything or improve anything. Just to see, just to acknowledge, just to say thank you. Walk slowly through the spaces you've been tending. Look at that corner you cleared yesterday. Really look at it. See how the light hits it differently now. Notice how your eyes can rest there without having to process a pile of things. Feel how that small space breathes easier. Pass by your breathing zone. Maybe it's that clear spot on your counter. Maybe it's your favorite chair with nothing on it but that soft throw. Let your heart notice how good it feels to have a place where peace lives. Look at the surfaces you've been wiping, the floors you've been sweeping, the papers you've been sorting. Not to critique, not to plan tomorrow's tasks, but to witness the love you've been pouring into your space. One small act at a time. This is your gratitude walk. And it changes everything. Because here's what happens when you end each day by acknowledging your progress instead of focusing on what's left to do. You start to see yourself differently. Instead of someone who's behind, someone who's struggling, someone who can't keep up, you become someone who cares for things, someone who creates beauty, someone who tends to what matters. Mary, who's 69 and lives alone, told me something that brought tears to my eyes. I used to walk through my house at night and see everything that was wrong, she said. Every pile, every mess, everything out of place felt like evidence that I was failing. But now, when I take my gratitude walk, I see evidence that I'm living, really living, taking care of myself and my space with intention and love. That gratitude walk becomes a ritual that closes each day with acknowledgement instead of judgment. It wraps up your efforts with appreciation instead of criticism. It reminds you that you're not just cleaning a house, you're creating a sanctuary. You're not just organizing things, you're returning home to yourself. You see the transformation. You feel the peace. You let your heart thank your effort. And that feeling, that deep sense of coming home to a space that reflects your care, your attention, your love, that's not just about having a clean house. That's about remembering who you are when you treat yourself with kindness. If you're someone who has lived alone, if you ever felt like the effort of caring for your space was somehow less important because it was just for you, I need you to hear this. You matter. Your comfort matters. Your peace matters. The love you pour into your space comes back to you every single day in the form of calm, beauty, and the deep satisfaction of living in harmony with your surroundings. You started this video feeling heavy, didn't you? Standing in that doorway, looking at everything that needed attention, shoulders dropping under the weight of it all. But something has shifted now, hasn't it? Something gentle but profound. These 7 steps, they're not really about decluttering at all. They're about remembering that your home is meant to serve your peace, not steal it. They're about discovering that transformation doesn't require force or exhaustion or superhuman strength. It requires something much more powerful, consistent kindness toward yourself and your space. You don't need to be younger, stronger, or more energetic to create the home you long for. You just need to be willing to start where you are, with what you have, one corner at a time, one small act of care at a time. If you've stayed with me through this entire journey, if you felt that quiet shift from overwhelm to possibility, then you understand something beautiful. You're not just organizing things. You're choosing peace over chaos, intention over impulse, self-compassion over self-criticism. You're creating a space that doesn't just look good. It feels like home. Your support, your willingness to consider a gentler way of living, your desire to create peace in your space. That's the reason I keep sharing these quiet truths. That's why this channel exists. Because in a world that tells us we need to do more, be more, achieve more, sometimes the most radical thing we can do is simply care for ourselves and our spaces with extraordinary gentleness. If this has felt like coming home to yourself, if these steps have whispered peace into your heart, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video with someone who needs to know they're not alone in wanting their home to feel like a sanctuary. Because every person who discovers they can create change without breaking themselves is another light in the world. And when you take your gratitude walk tonight, when you see those small spaces breathing easier because of your care, remember this. You are not just tidying a house. You are choosing to live with intention, beauty, and profound self-respect. Thank you for walking this gentle path with me. I'll see you in the next video.